In the fateful year of 2023, the distressing story of Shivli Saadik Haridoy continued to unfold, weaving a grim and relentless tale that left an entire community in shock and sorrow. At just 19 years old, Shivli's life was a blend of ambitions and perseverance. He balanced his studies with a part-time job to support his modest family, who bore the burden of financing his education. His journey led him to G's poultry farm in Qatar, where fate took a tragic turn. Shivli was widely respected for his unwavering honesty and integrity, qualities that he carried into his role as a manager at the farm. However, it wasn't just his dedication to his work that made him stand out. It was also his friendships with the minority tribal workers at the farm that would ultimately ignite the turmoil ahead. While Shivli worked tirelessly to maintain peace and harmony among the workers, some grew resentful of his authority. Being just 19 years old, he was younger than most of them, who were in their early 20s. This smoldering resentment soon erupted into conflicts, leading to heated altercations that demanded intervention from the farm owner. Though tension seemed to subside for a while, it was nothing but a fragile illusion. A storm was brewing beneath the surface. Then came August 28th, 2023, a day that marked the beginning of Shivli's harrowing ordeal. He was diligently working at the farm when, out of nowhere, his colleagues cornered him, forcefully shoved him into their car, and sped away. Amidst the chaos, Shivli managed to keep his mobile phone hidden. Nearly 12 hours after his abduction, he made a frantic call to his mother, Nahid. The sheer terror in his voice was unmistakable as he told her he had been kidnapped and was being brutally tortured. Before Nahid could process his words or ask a single question, the call was abruptly cut off, plunging the family into a nightmare of fear and uncertainty. But this was only the beginning. Shortly after the first call, an unknown individual, a stranger with no connection to Shivli, used his phone to make a chilling demand. The kidnappers were not satisfied with merely inflicting suffering on Shivli. They now sought to extort his family for money. A ransom demand was made, an astronomical sum of 1.5 million Bangladeshi taka, in exchange for his release. Shivli's family, already struggling financially, found themselves in an impossible predicament. The ransom amount was far beyond their means, and despite their frantic attempts to gather the money, the situation remained dire. The kidnappers set a ruthless 3-day deadline, leaving the family drowning in despair. As desperation weighed heavily upon them, Shivli's father, in an act of sheer hopelessness, begged the kidnappers to lower the ransom. In an unexpected turn of events, the kidnappers agreed to reduce the demand from 1.5 million taka to 200,000 taka. It was still a staggering sum for a poverty-stricken family, but it was a small ray of hope they clung to. The sacrifices and struggles of the family were relentless as they fought against time and fate to bring Shivli home. On September 4th, Shivli's family managed to collect a reduced ransom of 200,000 rupees. Clutching on to hope, they contacted the kidnappers, yearning to reunite with their son. Little did they know, it was all an elaborate deception. Shivli's father set out for the Ben Garment District headquarters, his trembling hands gripping the money tightly. From the shadows, two mysterious figures emerged to claim the ransom. The exchange was made, and with a quivering voice, Shivli's father desperately asked about his son's whereabouts. The response was cold and unsettling. "Go back home. Before you arrive, Shivli will already be there." With his heart pounding, he rushed back home, anticipating the long-awaited embrace of his son. But what met him instead was an eerie silence. Shivli was nowhere to be found. They waited. Hours turned into days, their hearts heavy with worry, convincing themselves that the kidnappers needed time to release Shivli. But even after 3 excruciating days, there was still no sign of their beloved son. On September 7th, after 11 agonizing days of silence, Shivli's parents were left with no choice. They filed an FIR, officially reporting their son's kidnapping to the police. Fear had paralyzed them from seeking help earlier, as the kidnappers had threatened that involving the authorities would seal Shivli's fate. But with each passing day, their despair grew unbearable, compelling them to take this desperate step. As the chaos and uncertainty unfolded, the police swiftly took action. They arrested the mother of one of the poultry farm workers, a woman named Amar Ma, charging her with kidnapping. Alongside her, Another suspect, known only as the mother of an accused worker, was also detained. Meanwhile, the hunt for two unidentified perpetrators had begun. Under relentless interrogation, the truth slowly unraveled, a story of betrayal and revenge. Among Sinister, the mother of Amar Ma, was identified as a mastermind behind the sinister plot. With the pressure mounting, she finally confessed to the chilling truth. What she revealed was nothing short of horrifying. A minor disagreement had spiraled into an unbridgeable chasm of hatred, fueling a cold-blooded abduction scheme that had been in the works for months. The plan was deceptively simple. Kidnap Shivy, torment him, and extort ransom from his family. The kidnappers, fully aware of Shivy's family's financial struggles, had initially demanded an outrageous sum, a ransom nearly impossible to gather. But even after they received a reduced ransom of 200,000 rupees, they chose not to let Shivy go. In their eyes, he was now a liability, a witness who could expose them and lead to their arrest. Fearing that Shivy might escape and expose them, the kidnappers made a merciless decision. The only way to ensure their own safety was to eliminate him. What followed was a cold-blooded execution, carried out in the cruelest manner imaginable. But the haunting question remained, where was Shivy's body? Under intense interrogation, Among Sinister revealed the horrific details of their gruesome actions. After taking Shivy's life, they had hidden his body in the kitchen, only to later dispose of it in a remote mountain. There, in an act of unthinkable savagery, they removed his flesh and consumed it, leaving behind only his scattered bones. For 11 agonizing days, the police searched tirelessly for Shivy's remains. Finally, on September 11th, law enforcement officers, accompanied by Among Sinister, led Shivy's grieving family to the desolate site where their son's body had been discarded. What they found was a scene of unspeakable horror, a ghastly testament to how a petty dispute had escalated into a brutal massacre. The wrath of justice. However, justice arrived swiftly, but in a violent and unexpected way. As Among Sinister was being escorted away by the police, an enraged mob swarmed the area, blocking roads with fallen trees, and launching an assault on officers. In the midst of the chaotic frenzy, Among Sinister met his gruesome demise, a victim of a community unwilling to tolerate such evil. As for the other accused individuals, they remained in police custody, awaiting the final judgment of the law. A grim reminder. What had begun as a minor disagreement had spiraled into an unforgivable atrocity. It stood as a harrowing reminder of how small conflicts, when fueled by hatred, can lead to irreversible consequences. The story of Shivli Saadik Haridoy is a chilling account of how a young man's life was mercilessly destroyed over a trivial dispute, a tale of betrayal, suffering, and unimaginable cruelty. In the end, justice may have been served, but the scars of this tragedy will forever remain in the hearts of those who loved and cherished him. Now, as we reflect on this heart-wrenching story, we are left with unsettling questions about morality, justice, and fragility of human relationships. Small Blue Diamond, how could a minor dispute lead to such unspeakable horrors? Small Blue Diamond, could there have been another way to resolve their differences? One that could have prevented this gruesome tragedy? These are the haunting questions that will linger long after the story ends.